Okay, guys, hello everybody. Let's go with this second part of Renaissance architecture. Remember the things that we said the other day, for example, that Renaissance is a couple of years in Spain, is probably no more than 80 years, and sometimes it's difficult to make a difference between the three different parts of Renaissance that we have. No, so this Plateresque style, full Renaissance, and manierism, or transition to Gothic. So the other day we were talking about different Plateresque buildings, mainly in the city of Salamanca, because we have a lot of examples there, and also we saw examples of full Renaissance buildings, probably with less decoration than Plateresque, and a way to construct using these different arches, for example middle point arch, who is so typical, as we saw for example in this building, Palacio de Monterrey, or in Colegio de Fonseca, with a very beautiful courtyard, as we can see here in this slide. Also, we were talking about the City Hall of Sevilla. You remember, not the main entrance, is the part is the back part, the part who is looking at Plaza de San Francisco, and this is a Plateresque building with a lot of decoration. Remember that the grotto is when we decorate the shaft of a column or a pilaster. We have columns and pilasters decorated in this building. Diego de Riaño is the architect of this building, as you can see in the date 1526. No, okay, we are not going to study this building, yes, but this one, yes, this one includes full Renaissance, because this church is full Renaissance. Diego de Siloé is the architect. Remember that Diego de Siloé is an architect who studied in Italy. So when he came back to Spain, he's going to make the different buildings, or project different buildings according with the Renaissance structures that he studied in Italy. But in this building we have like another place. It's a place for the priests to keep different objects, dress, or places like, it's a place like this. And as you can see, this part of the building disturbed the rest. This is we can say that this is a perfect structure, but this one it's off center. The entrance is not straight, as you can see. Is in a diagonal plan. It's a different one. Is breaking all the balance that we have in this building. Okay, first the church by Diego de Siloé. The church, as you can see in the head of the church, we have a circle. It's a circle because for Renaissance people, also for Roman people, because remember Renaissance is trying to copy Roman architecture, they thought that the circle is a symbol of perfection, and they are going to use circles, for example, for tombs. In the Pantheon of Agrippa in Rome, 1st century after Christ, is a circular structure, and something so similar happened here. We have a tomb in the middle of Francisco de los Cobos. This guy was the secretary of the king Carlos I, and he wanted to be buried in this church, so the structure is a circular structure because we have a tomb in the middle, and then the rest we have naves and chapels. And the other place is most interesting. This one is full Renaissance. Remember, this one is manierism. Manierism, we call manierism because it's trying to break the rules of Renaissance. There's rules not written in or during Renaissance. If you break these rules, you are not in Renaissance. You are in another style. No, look at the entrance. This is the entrance to this place. Remember what I said. It's not an entrance in a straight line. It's a diagonal line, who is part of this. We have these figures that we are going to see in another building. Instead of columns, we have Hermes. Hermes, if it is an sculpture of a man, okay, or Atlantes is another one, and Cariatides if it is an sculpture of a woman, Hermes or Cariatides. Instead of columns, what we have is sculptures, but the function is the same, is decorating and sustain the upper part. This is dome, that we have in this circular structure in the head of the church. And this is what we have in this room. Look at the figures, as we said. Hermes, Atlantes too, Cariatides for a woman, and then the structure with middle point arches and this strange, it's like a fan, dome, something similar to a fan. Okay, and think like this. This is the church outside, and this is what we have outside. Well, nothing special. Nothing special. This is the main facade. Diego de Siloé normally use a middle point arch, and over this arch we have figures of woman, angels, or something like this. This structure we will see the same in the Cathedral of Granada. Another building in this church, so close to the church, is this palace, Juan Vázquez de Molina, in Úbeda, Jaén. Is in this, as I told you, in the same. It's not a courtyard. It's like a. I don't remember now the name. The name of this place. No, I don't remember the name, but it's so close to the other building. Okay. Well, one interesting thing that this building from Andrés de Valdelvida, who is the architect, is Andrés de Valdelvida is a manierism architect, and I told you manierism trying to break the rules of Renaissance. Renaissance is trying to follow the Roman rules, rules not written. Remember, I told you. For example, things that they are breaking here. Okay, first thing is that the structure of the building, we have different streets. No, we can say one street, another street, another street, another street. Okay, this one, is wider than this. This one is wider than this. This one is wider than this. Okay, in a Renaissance building or in a Roman building, all streets need to have the same size. But this one is wider. It's difficult to see, but believe me. Okay, another rule not written is that the columns of pilasters in this part of the building needs to be Doric. In the second needs to be Ionic. In the third needs to be Corinthian. So Doric, Ionic, Corinthian. This is the structure in the Roman buildings. No, but in this one, what we have here is Corinthian in first floor, Ionic in second floor, and in third floor we don't have columns. We have Hermes or Cariatides. No, remember we substitute the column by a statue, of a man or a woman. Okay, another thing who is breaking is the frontons. No, for example, frontons in first floor needs to be triangular fronton. In second floor needs to be a semicircular fronton. But look at here, and what we have here is a triangular fronton over these balconies. No, not in this floor, in the second floor. And then circle is a symbol of perfection for Renaissance and also for Roman architecture. But look at this. This is not a circle. This is an oval form. No, an oval form is breaking the rule of perfection, the perfection of the circle, this symbol of perfection. Symbol of perfection. So they are. Andrés de Valdelvida is trying to break the rules of Renaissance. So we are in another moment. We are in a moment of transition to Baroque. During Baroque, rules are gonna be breaking all time. All time. This is the moment of transition. Andrés de Vandervira, who is a very good architect who worked. As you can see, the dates are so close, all of them, because it's difficult to make a difference. No, I told you between, for example, Plateresque, full Renaissance, and finally manierism. Okay, the Cathedral of Granada, maybe you were here in this place. Cathedral of Granada, Diego de Siloé is the architect, same architect, for example, as we saw in Úbeda, in la Iglesia del Salvador. And the idea of this church in the beginning is that the king, Carlos I, is going to be buried here, in this part, no? So the structure is a circle, because remember, Diego de Siloé, who studied in Italy, he followed the Roman structure, the Roman architecture, the Renaissance architecture, no? Circle as a symbol of perfection, and the tomb of the king in the middle. Finally, it didn't happen, because now the king is in another place. He's in a monastery so close to Madrid, Monasterio del Escorial, But the structure of the church in Granada is circle in the head of the cathedral because of that. You can see we have five naves, but it's more important this circular structure that we have in the head of the cathedral. This is what we have inside. Maybe you were here, remember, the circular form close to the main altar, and then these beautiful white columns, Corinthian columns, to sustain the way to separate the naves, and also to sustain the star vaults that we have covering this building. Look at the date, because it's the same, 50-50, and this is a full Renaissance building, not a manierism. This is a full Renaissance building. Okay, one of the entrance to the cathedral, so typical from Diego de Siloé. You can see the columns, spaces for sculptures that we don't have right now, is empty, this place, and also a middle point arch and figures of angels, or allegories, representations of justice, for example, and faith over this middle point arch. It's so typical from Diego de Siloé, this way to make the entrance. And then the final building that we need to study is this, Palacio de Carlos V. Maybe you were in this place too, because it's so close to La Alhambra in Granada, and the structure of this palace, we have all the rooms here, and then a very big courtyard. This is a courtyard that we have in the middle of the construction. So you enter here this part of the building and access directly to the courtyard, and this is the courtyard. Pedro Machuca is the architect. Pedro Machuca is an architect who studied also in Italy, so he is going to follow the rules of Roman architecture. The rules are not written about Renaissance. For example, rule that I told you, first part is covered with Doric columns, and in second part we have Ionic columns. We have another floor, another part of the building, it will be Corinthian columns, but we have two parts: Doric first floor, Ionic second floor, and then the circle. Remember this idea of perfection in the circle of this palace of Carlos I, Carlos V, who is the same king, is Carlos I in Spain, Carlos V in Germany, because he is at the same time king in Spain and king in Germany. So Pedro Machuca, remember this architect. This is the outside the building, and with this structure too, full of different circles, as you can see in the windows, and the structure to access to enter in this palace, who built Carlos I, because he liked it so much, the city of Granada, when he was in this city during his honeymoon. Okay, so that's all, guys, about Renaissance. We have two parts. Let me know if you have any question, and I'm gonna send you another video about a painter, a Baroque painter, or maybe one or two more videos. I'm not sure. Probably one at the end of this week. Okay. And then the next week, what we have is our exam, who is going to be the same as the other. I send you different pictures, and you need to describe these pictures. Okay, so bye, guys.